Hi, I'm glad you're here. I'm Dr. Danny McLane, and this is Renee Barasch, the Tummy Whisperer. We're here to help you on your journey through our community of weight loss to help you achieve the results that you wanted. For over 30 years, we've been the ones who've been called in to fix problems and help people who've not been able to get help, who've not been able to achieve the results they've wanted.
One of my favorite stories about why I do what I do is I had a client call me up one time and asked me if I could help them. Desperate, I can hear the desperation in their voice. And I said, well, I hope so. They said, good, because my bathroom looks like a crime scene. This poor guy had just bleeding out his behind from all kinds of inflammatory food, and sure enough to say, he's doing great today without a crime scene for a bathroom.
You're talking gut health, you talk poop.
Gotta talk poop.
Oh man, so much, we talk so much poop. But that's so important though. Like obviously what happens inside of you determines what comes out, right? So if in any part of the system you have input, process, output. So if you're putting in the wrong stuff and it's coming out bad, and coming out bad doesn't necessarily mean just poop, right? It could be your health is coming out bad, your body aches all the time. So from a personal standpoint, I've done a lot of weightlifting and a lot of martial arts, and I just thought, you know what, I'm kind of beat down. Like my joints are at 25, 28, like 30 years old, I felt like what people tell me they feel like when they're 70 or 80. And I was like, yeah, I guess I just used it all up. And then I started digging into it because I figured I could work out as much as I wanted, as I could eat whatever I wanted, so long as I was doing a lot of exercise, I'd burn off all the calories. Well, it turns out that the body is not a calculator. It's an environment. And if you don't take care of the environment properly, it's going to go bad. And that's the thing that I had to really watch. When I started to clean up my diet, I used to eat literally whatever I wanted. And I had all kinds of headaches and stiffness and joint pain. I'd wake up in the morning, I couldn't move, like my feet hurt. And of course, since I was doing massage at the time, I did a lot of massage, I stretch, and I'd do all these self-care routines, everything except for what was on my plate. And I thought it was pretty healthy. Like, oh, well, I have vegetables, never mind the fact that I pretty much lived off of I don't know, some of the most inflammatory foods that most people think are healthy. And if you don't step into the group that we offer, you're not going to know what those are. And part of what we do for people is give them clarity. We give them exactly what they need to know, what they need to have, and what they need to avoid. I mean, that's one of the conversations that we had.
Right.
We talked about that person that basically, they overate one particular kind of food, and the next thing you know, they thought they were having some kind of health disaster.
Well,
and really what it just came down to was...
face blew up. And to your point of, there's a lot of people that do a lot of research and, consult the internet for, I do for other things as well too, for what to eat for them. If you just Google the word gas, you'll get 25 things to do. And I guarantee you 20 of those are the wrong thing to do, because the gas is coming from 10 different places. There could be a structural issue that's not actually helping the body with digestion. It could be what you're eating. It could be an emotional component, and it could be all three, and most of the time it is. So, what to eat is something that, I pride myself on, because there's a ton of misinformation out there.
Sure.
And what's right for one person is not right for the next person. Everybody has something different.
And you touched on the emotional component. There was a research study done a while ago that looked at how to treat IBS, or irritable bowel syndrome. And what they did is they did medical intervention, they did chiropractic acupuncture and hypnosis. And what they showed was, long story short, the only thing that had a long-lasting effect, it was weird. They didn't really look at diet, which I thought that is indicative of the entire industry right there.
Sure.
Let's look at food first. But what they showed was that the emotional support is actually what changed both short-term and long-term outcomes of those digestive functions. And there's a known mechanism. The nerve that goes basically from your skull down into your gut to tell your gut how to function. If you're worried or stressed out, nobody's worried about washing dishes if the house is on fire.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
So if your body is designed to live through today, safety first. The trouble is when the stress never ends, because it's something that your brain is responding to or something that your brain is creating. And we have access to that. We can get in there and help you with that. There's a lot of different ways, a lot of different techniques that we can do, and we can teach you to do for yourself that you'll have access to with this program that will help you to reduce the stress, because stress causes inflammation.
And when your body's in fight or flight, all you are is running from that proverbial bear that's your stress every day, whether it's job stress or home stress or food stress or all the above. And to your point, exactly, that's something that can be helped greatly with our clinic.
What I think is really interesting too is when you're in that mode, you're using a lot of adrenaline. Your body's really fired up. So an adrenaline food is salt, fat, and sugar. That's why a lot of people come and say, I have these cravings, I need to eat these things.
Right.
And as soon as we fix their stress and we give them nutritive foods, they're gonna feel their body not only decrease their inflammation, but their stress levels are gonna go down. Because what is also kind of a catch-22 with that is if you are stressed out and you're not digesting well, you're not absorbing all the things you need in order to bring your body into a healthy, happy state. And if you don't have that, then there's more stress, and then there's worse digestion and more stress, and it's just this downward spiral until somebody collapses.
Right.
How many times have you been called as a last resort for somebody whose body's on fire, brain's on fire, life's in disaster?
Many. Yes, absolutely. And to your point again as well too, it is like a feedback loop. When there is stress, the body is in good digestive mode. It's not at all. It's in fight or flight. So there's no way that you can be digesting your food and absorbing your nutrients and getting rid of the waste. And stopping that feedback loop with hypnosis, with AK, with the things that you work with your patients with is fantastic. It's an absolute kill switch to get you to pause so that you can actually go on about your life and do what you need to do to be healthy and to feel good.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And the other thing that I think is really crucial with that is, for us, it's just common language. We talk about that. But a lot of people think that, that their diet is exactly their diet and their exercise is just their exercise. And never mind the fact that there's so many different interconnections between one to the other. And that's really what our expertise will do for you. We have, combined between the two of us, over 30 years of experience in this, working with people with, I know that you do and I know that I do. We've been called in on some of the worst cases where they've tried everything else and nothing else has worked. And really what it comes down to is knowing exactly where to put your effort to get the most return on your investment. We know that it's not easy, but sometimes the only thing worse than the correction is living with the problem. So we know that if you're going to put any amount of time, any amount of effort, we know that if you're going to put any amount of time, any amount of effort into improving your health, decreasing your inflammation, increasing your athleticism, helping to clear your brain fog, get rid of your fatigue, drop extra pounds, help to improve your sleep, your heart health, your bladder health, your kidney health. Any part of your body needs good building blocks to build from. And that's exactly what we can do for you. We can make sure that that is the most efficient way to do it. We know that it's going to take some time. We know that it's going to take some work. Our job is to help reduce as much of the stress from that as possible. And that's what we're here to do.